Grit, the ultimate edge. Most people can start strong, right, Kyle? They can show up and they can work hard for a bit. I mean, they can talk about their goals. But when things get hard, when they hit failure after failure, that's really where most people quit. And that's also where the greats separate themselves. And so today we're going to cannonball back into the deep end about arguably the single most important trait for long-term, say it again, long-term success: grit. We're talking growth, resilience, initiative, and tenacity. And here's the really good news, man, that I want to share with everybody. I'm fired up, man, is we can all grow our grittiness factor. And to set the stage, I want to share a quote from Angela Duckworth in her exceptional book. She says in there, "Enthusiasm is common, endurance is rare." And so it makes me also think about a story that she shares in that book. I think you're familiar with it. West Point's Beast Barracks and the grit test.
No doubt.
And so, yeah, so stay with me here and picture this. You're one of the top recruits in the country. You have excelled at everything in your life to this point. You've got the best grades, the best test scores. You're a physical specimen, like chiseled from the Greek gods, arguably. And you've been training for years to get into one of the most elite military academies in the world, West Point. And then day one hits. And now, as a new cadet, you're going through Beast Barracks, which is a ridiculous, grueling 6-week physical and mental test designed for one thing: to break you. And one of the things, like I think to highlight here is that again, all these recruits that come into West Point, they've really never failed at anything in their lives, or in other words, they've excelled at everything. They've probably had some failures along the way, but they've excelled, man. They were always the smartest, man. They were the best athletes. They were the strongest, the fastest on their teams until this moment. It like begs the question, man, like, well, how do you survive this? And more importantly, who survives this? If it's not the biggest, not the smartest, then who is it? It's the one who has the most grit.
It's absolutely crazy to figure out that none of that really matters compared to how gritty you are. And your grittiness is what's going to lead to success in Beast Barracks. That's just wild, man.
Grit really is what separates those, even if you're that close in, the same ability and capacity, but it separates those who push through from those who tap out. And Kyle, I mean, you really have been developing your grit for a really long time, like going back to your childhood.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Like, grit is a muscle. It's something that you can strengthen with deliberate choices. I have been building grit for a really long time, and I'd like to share some examples of what I did that, I guess in hindsight, I can see that these things really laid the foundation for like the gritty person that I am today. So, a little story time for everybody.
Love it.
I grew up in an affluent town, but my family didn't have a lot of money. My parents took really good care of me and my siblings, but by comparison, we had less. So I knew that money was important, and if I wanted something that cost money, it'd be on me to make it happen. So as a young 10-year-old version of myself, I knew there weren't a lot of options to get out there and make a little coin. But I discovered that at the local country club, they had a caddy program. And you could take a little test that proved you had some general competency on all things golf related. And then you were free to make yourself available as a caddy. And you could work as much as you liked. So during the summers, I'd have my parents drop me off at the country club at 7 a.m. so I could be first in line. Man, if you weren't first in line and you rolled in later in the morning, your odds of getting a bag were low because the line would be really long. And and there weren't a ton of folks who were interested in investing in child labor at that point in time.
I wonder why.
Yeah, right. So you got paid in tips. And it was like typically like 15 to 20 bucks for 18 holes.
Okay.
So 18 holes takes 4 hours. So I was raking in like $3.75 to $5 an hour. And some days I'd be lucky enough to get a second turn. And as soon as you get back, another golfer would need a caddy, and then the daily earnings would be like 30 or 40 bucks. You know, man, this is a big deal. Some days you wouldn't get picked at all. And that was incredibly disappointing, man. So because of that, I got really good at schmoozing and hustling the golfers as they arrived for their tee times, man. Like, oh, hey, can I help you? Let me clean your clubs, you know? Anything you could do just to prove your worth, to prove your value, man. And I worked every day I could. And it felt so good to save my money, you know, knowing that I had a little financial freedom in a wad of bills that I had earned in my bedside drawer. Then, when I went to college, well, I decided to go to college, and in that decision, I knew part of it was, well, I was going to have to pay for it myself. So if that's the decision I wanted to make, I had to figure that out. So I got a job on a blasting crew, which is exactly what it sounds like. We made the rock. We put explosives in the ground, and at the end of each shift, we were rewarded with an enormous explosion. Very, very satisfying as far as, okay, the work is done. And that job worked exceptionally well for me because I was able to work 40 hours a week in just 3 days, right? Because we'd regularly hit the road to go out on a shot at 3 or 4 a.m. And you would drive anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, and then you would work a full day, and then you would drive back. So you could easily log in like 12 or 16 hours in a day. And I was able to block my classes so that I had full schedule on Tuesday and Thursday of all the classes I was taking. And then I would go to work on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it was hard. It was really hard. It took an enormous amount of discipline to do that. But because of the demand, I had to put so much energy into it and so much responsibility, I really performed my best because I didn't have a choice. I couldn't mess around to do other things. I had to deliver on these things every single day. Grit grows when you push yourself past the easy choices. If you're willing to embrace discomfort and inconvenience, you'll get grittier than you ever thought was possible, man.
I love that story, man. Thank you for sharing. But I think we should jump into our 3 tools for the week. How's that sound?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Let's do it. Kick us off.
First tool we have this week is the hard thing rule. This one is near and dear to my heart, my man. Got to pick something that's a challenge that pushes you mentally, it pushes you physically, and it's something that you have to stick with for the long term. It's not like, oh, this weekend I'm going to do, or for this week I'm going to do. No, it's something you got to commit for an extended period of time. And so at my family, everyone has to have a hard thing. Something that's challenging, something uncomfortable, and something that they've committed to for a long period of time. So my daughters, they're taking piano. That's their hard thing. They have to practice every day. They have to continue to focus on that. My 5-year-old son, he's in Taekwondo. That's his hard thing. He's got to go. There's consistency there. You have to be deliberate about getting yourself there, and you have to try hard when you're there. My wife and I, we're doing hot yoga.
Love that.
This is out of my comfort zone, man. There aren't a lot of 6'2" males in the hot yoga class, so I'm working through it, man. It's going well.
Yeah, I love that. And what, like, when you pick a new hard thing, like, are you saying like I'm gonna try this for a year, or how's that work?
Yeah, man. I mean, the year commitment is ideal. You know, we would say like, okay, if you're signing up for a class, like, we don't quit. We're not quitting midstream, so we're going to go the duration of it. You know, I'd be empathetic. You know, if my kids signed up for something that was no good for them, you know, we could pivot, but we'd have to pick something else. And the idea being that it's something you get better and better at over time, and that it is hard.
Yeah, I love that. Well, let's get into number 2, man. This week, fall 7, stand 8, and really success isn't about never falling, right? It's about getting up one more time, right? And you're going to get knocked down. You got to get back up. And I love, there's a Japanese proverb, and in the sake of not butchering it, I'm just going to say what it stands for. Fall 7 times, stand up 8, man. And I love everything about that because it is so true. And like if you have grit, you're going to get back up, right? If you don't have grit, you're going to stay down. And I love there's so many great real world examples that I think would resonate with us and with our audience. But two, I picked out 2 for this. And number 1 is Oprah, right? Oprah Winfrey. She got knocked down very hard and very early in her career. Specifically, she was fired from her very first TV anchor job. Yeah. And so she had the choice, man. What am I going to do? How am I going to respond to this? And, after being told like, hey, you know what, Oprah? No. You're not fit for television. It's not for you. But she's like, no. I have this vision and I have grit, at the end of the day. And so what did she do? She went on to build a $1 billion media empire, man. Like that's incredible and just an exceptional example of that. The second one, which was wild, like I recently just learned about this one, which Sylvester Stallone, another very famous human being that we're all familiar with, and allegedly he was sly. He was rejected, dude, over 1,500 times trying to sell the Rocky script. Like it was like, yeah, like no, like that's insane. Like that's insane. And but the punchline is he never stopped, man. He was persistent. He persevered. He believed in himself, and he believed in it. Having that sense of purpose too. But punchline was he got the deal done, man. And on top of that, not only did he get it done, man, he starred in it, and that won him an Oscar, and that really launched his stardom in Hollywood. And so, I think why this works. You get knocked down, get back up is because, real first starting with like people without grit, what do, man? They let failure define them. They're like, no, I'm going to stay down. It's too uncomfortable to get back up. But those like yourself and the story you shared with us today, my man, is like those who get back up every single time, man, no matter how many times they have fallen, no matter how many times they have failed. Guess what, man? They're going to outlast everyone, and they're going to outwork everybody else. And so I think you have 2 choices at the end of the day, man. For every time that you get knocked down, man, is you can stay down where it's comfortable, and or you can get up, man. And guess what? Champions, they always get up.
Champions always get up, man. And the third tool, which ties right into this, champions embrace the suck.
Ooh.
High performers lean into discomfort. High performers seek out hard things because that's where the growth happens. And what's most important in embracing the suck is reframing it. You need to reframe the struggle. It's supposed to be hard. If it's not hard, you're not doing it right. So instead of saying to yourself, "Oh man, this sucks," you just say, "This is making me stronger. Like I'm so grateful for this pain, this opportunity to get better." Right? You have to reframe it from something negative to something positive.
I love everything about number 3, embrace the suck. The closing challenge this week is I want you to pick one thing in your life that's hard, that's tough, and something that's been testing you. And instead of avoiding it, lean into that bad dog and go 11% harder than you planned. And as Kyle was just talking about, make embracing the suck your default setting, because that's how you will build your grit. And grit is how you win the marathon of life. So let's make every minute count. And if this episode it resonated, smash that subscribe button, share it, and tag us. We'd love to grow our grittiness factor with you together.